Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, folks. Welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strangebro Jim. And once again, we are back with some more Pega for some Pega studying for the certification. We got some more videos to schedule and release for the public. And then, of course, later on tonight, we got Chrono Trigger. So that's the schedule of today's stream. Um, Now, for those of you that are watching, for this Pega portion, um, we have um, um, so for today, we just finished off the rules, and we're going to be moving on to the next section, next topic before the challenge. Um, and that one was like for 30 minutes, so that one looks to be it might be a fairly long um, module for the most part. Um, but let me explain who I am and everything about this particular portion of the stream. Uh, so myself, I'm currently an unemployed software developer trying to find a job. Um, who never got his certification for Pega. My last job, we were trained on it, but our um, during the training with an authorized training partner, we had some issues with him. Me and the rest of my team. Um, we had, you know, we were pretty much kind of forced into Pega in that last job. We didn't really have a say in the matter. It was either we accepted what they were going to give us, or we could, you know, get out of the contract. And well, you know, I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to get a job, so I accepted it. So I went ahead with it because uh, while um, the idea of I still would have preferred just a straight up like Java career, Java, you know, doing like a full stack Java. Um, you know, the um, they you know they basically said, hey, we'll teach you how to use Pega at minimum wage, and you know then you go out on contract for us. It's like, okay, wasn't terrible. Didn't have wasn't you know so that was okay. But the instructor wasn't great. The good majority of us just went for self-study, because we were just kind of fed up with the guy. Um, Even his coworkers knew that we were having a rough time with him, and even saw the results of how we were having a rough time with him. So, um, was forced into the Pega certification before I was ready, and well, I didn't pass it with good reason. I wasn't ready at the time. I wasn't fully prepared for it, but they wanted me to take it. They forced me to take it, so I took it, but I still missed about, I think it was like 6 questions below the minimum. So I was close, but I wasn't close enough. And well, I never continued doing the self-study to attempt it a second time. And that's on me. Okay. I was kind of hoping that, when they basically forced me into the contract, that maybe I could get into some kind of mentorship. Maybe I could actually get some of the veterans to kind of maybe help me out a little bit in learning Pega. Maybe kind of take me through the Pega Academy to, see, what insight that they could provide, help me answer questions, but that didn't happen either. Um, so here we are. I am currently working towards getting my system architect certification so that I can put it on my application and I can, or put it on my resume and start, trying for some Pega jobs as well. I'm not doing that right now because, well, I don't have the certification. No one's going to hire me without that certification, so um, there's not much I can really do about it. So, but for those of you that are watching these videos, know that I'm not an authorized training partner, and this is not an instructor-led training. Okay, I'm not an expert in Pega. Okay, um, I hope that you don't consider me an expert in Pega. Okay, consider me as like maybe one of your peers if you're watching this and you're trying to learn Pega yourself. Okay, think of me as someone that you can talk with about maybe your own certification experiences or talking with, how to learn Pega or something along those lines, or maybe your own little insights into it. You're welcome to chat with me right now while I'm streaming, or go to my Discord, chat with me there, or you can, you know, put some comments in these YouTube videos. All of which are good. Okay? So, um, but yeah, now if you do want to go further than instructor-led training, know that it does cost a bit of money to take that training. Okay, I think it's like for 2 weeks for like $5,000. It is not cheap. Okay, but one would hope that you would get an instructor that knows everything about Pega and will be able to give you everything that you need to know. You will learn it easily so that you can pass the certification with flying colors. Okay. Are you going to get 100%? Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? That obviously that depends on how much you learn, right? Um, but here's the thing: make sure to ask questions, okay? Because when I took it for 8.6, there were questions on that certification that were from Pega 7, okay? And they didn't teach us anything about Pega 7, okay, or the keywords in there, okay? So when I took that certification for the very first time and I saw those questions and I saw those keywords that I'd never seen before, I was like, okay, there's a lot more to this certification than just what we're learning in Pega Academy. So, or the 8.6 version, I should say. So, um, so ask questions. Okay, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask as many as you can, whenever you can. Get as much information out of that entire process. Get your money's worth out of it, and hopefully you can pass the certification with flying colors. Okay. Um, you know, hopefully it's you don't hit the borderline or you're like right there, or or you trip at the very end and you miss like one question. Try not to do that, obviously. Study as much as you can to be prepared for the certification. Okay, but that could be a possibility. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, um, I found the certification exam kind of difficult because they were asking questions that were looking for very specific definitions to some of the keywords, and you know one wrong word choice and it was done. Your everything was over with. So be prepared for what you're going to be kind of faced with. Okay. Um, last, I'm not getting any kind of special treatment from Pega. So if you're thinking that I'm getting some kind of like monetary benefit or some kind of special instructor treatment or something crap like that, or then no, don't just take it out of your mind because um, the most that I've gotten out of this, has been I make a suggestion, they either get back to me and say, sure, we'll go ahead and do that, or hey, we have some additional questions or something like that. That's it. Okay. That's about as much as I've gotten from Pega. Okay. Which I do appreciate, by the way. Don't think that I'm like, oh God, this is terrible. No, I do appreciate the fact that they're answering the my suggestions. Okay, I think that that's fantastic. I hope that they keep doing that because um, that shows a lot in terms of their customer service. I like that interaction. Haven't been getting it lately, but that's okay. They might be very busy right at this moment in time. From what I understand, they're trying to work on a new updated business analyst section. So supposedly that's coming sometime this fall. Am I going to go over that? Maybe, maybe. We'll see. Um, but like I said before, my focus is on the system architect, not on the business architect. So, um, so we got, we're going through these 26 modules, 23 challenges. They really should probably just put this in like one additional mission or something like that, make things a little bit easier for themselves, but whatever. Um, we are done with the business architect. Okay. These two missions, these two modules have been completed. They are done. They are on my playlist for Pega. So if you want to, you know, look through my videos for the two missions and two modules, they're all right there. Okay, ready and waiting for you. So feel free to check that out if you want to. And it is 8.7. Okay, so if you are someone that is, say, German, and you want to kind of go through, what I have and follow it up, you know, in the German language, then and there you go, right? Um, Also, these last two modules here for the business architect, they're covering the Pega Express delivery. So if you want more in-depth, um, modules and conversations about the Pega Express delivery, there's a mission for you right there. I would kind of recommend it personally because if the business architect is having, what was it, like 13% um, with Pega Express. Here, let me see. 12% Pega Express, then you better consider taking that mission so that you can, you're able to cover and understand all of these topics. You know, don't be that Pega Express mission should cover this, thoroughly. One would hope, but okay. So do yourself that favor, okay? Don't cut yourself, don't cut yourself short on that. All right. So let's move on to the system architect mission here as we continue to the end. So we just finished off creating a rule yesterday, so we're moving on to the application data manipulation today. So 3 topics, 30 minutes. We got data transforms, default property values, and superclass feature with a module quiz at the very end. Um, well, normally I don't really rely on the time that they provide here because normally they're off, and in some cases by a lot. So maybe we can cover data transforms and default property values, but we'll find out. Well, that's close to 5 minutes, I would imagine. All right, data transforms. The purpose of data transforms is to manipulate data in an application. Data transforms copy or manipulate data into the fields that you require. You can add data transforms to convert data from one type to another, iterate over page lists or page groups, and copy entire pages at a time. The following image, click the plus icons to explore how Pega platform uses data transforms to improve the checkout process of a purchasing application. So, account information, you have, first name, last name, email, phone, and credit card. You have the shipping address, um, address, city, state, country, and then of course you have the payment information with the billing address, could be the same as the shipping address, or might be a separate billing address as well. Okay. Um, like you might have like the main office of your business as the billing address, but you need to ship it to like a satellite area or something like that. And so, and then of course you got the billing information there as well. Why they have the credit card in the account information and credit card in the billing information there, I don't really know. Um, Seems like they're kind of doubling up the information a bit there, but um, like why would you have the credit card information under the account information when you're just asking it for the billing? Plus, you know, um, you might have a person's account, yeah, but you might have the credit card under another person's name or something like that. So it's like, this section right here isn't really necessary, I feel. So in the account information view, the customer provides their full name, contact information, and credit card information. Again, I wouldn't understand why they would need the credit card information under the account. That's that's I would figure that that would actually be um, a little bit of a concern. They would need to make sure that they have a lot of protections going on for holding onto credit card information under the account information. So, shipping address. In the shipping information view, the customer provides the shipping address. Wow, you don't say. Payment information. In the payment information view, the customer provides a billing address. The billing address and shipping address are likely the same. Not always. Don't assume. To reduce potential errors and make the process more efficient, use the data transform to copy the shipping address to the billing address fields instead of requiring the customer to re-enter the shipping address. I mean, that is true that you can use the data transform to, copy the data. That's perfectly reasonable. They do the check mark and hey, bam, you copy all that information over. But, don't make that as something that is um, don't make it as though it's like, hey, this is required and it can't be changed. Like, hey, the shipping address, is the billing address. No, don't do that. So, full name. In the payment information view, the customer provides their full name and credit card information for payment processing. Use the data transform to copy the first name and last name properties from the customer account into the single full name property. Again, be careful with this because, again, they could be using, one person's account but a different person's credit card. So, um, so don't feel like you need to, make sure that these fields are editable, you know, or at least make sure that um, you talk with the business analyst and the project owner and confirm, like, hey, if they're trying to purchase something from us, it needs to be that person's account. Okay. Otherwise, you know, um, like think of it this way. Um, the owner of the account might be, you know, uh, might be like a new kid or something like that. Like, hey, um, like a kid, 18 years old, just got out of high school, started up their first job, they got themselves an account with a bank or something along those lines, took out a car loan or something like that, right? Or something along those lines, right? They have their parent, take them to the car dealership or something like that, and the parent puts their credit card information down for the kid as, so they're like doing a co-signing of it. Okay. So technically the car is still in the kid's name, but the credit card information might be their parent. You get what I'm saying? So, um, so don't assume that the account information has to be the same. So, you know, but again, that's dependent on the project owner and business analyst and what they want to do and all that kind of jazz. Okay, so, but just putting it out there. Make sure that when you do those data transfers, copies, that it is something that you really want to do, like all the time. Because believe me, um, I would get kind of irritated having to change this all the time. Remove the information if it's wrong to change it to what I need it to be, every single time. Or, if the checkbox is already like set and it can't be changed, then that's a problem. Okay. Um, that would be quite irritating. So, um, yeah. Converting data into data transforms. You can use data transforms to convert data from one type to another type. For example, you receive an order delivery date input from another system as a string value, such as December 4th, 2021. Use the data transform to copy and convert the stored string format of the delivery date into the date value property 1204 2021 or 412 2021, depending on what country you're in. This is the American way of dates, and obviously if you're in another country, there's they write it differently. They do the date first, the month, and then the year. So to convert a string into a number, open the expression builder, click the configure icon, and then use out-of-the-box functions that are available in Pega platform. In the credit card number example, you can use the toInt function. Um, okay. Why they bring that up, I don't really know, but whatever. Calling data transforms in flows. You can call a data transform from a flow. In a flow, click the connector to open the connector properties window. In the Set Properties section, select Apply Data Transform. Consider another example. An auto repair parent class has a child case that manages providing necessary repairs. The child case contains a menu of possible items, and available services include unit costs. The items and services that are provided are copied to the parent case for invoicing. Use a data transform to iterate over the list of possible items and services and copy those entries into a quantity greater than 0, or entries with a quantity greater than 0. So, it basically looks at the list of services in the child, sees that you have an unlock, with a quantity of 1, a replacement key with a quantity of 1, so it, transfers over to the parent that, hey, you have these costs, from the child case, where the services all, does a grand total of $75 there. So when you access information in a parent-child case relationship, consider referencing data rather than copying it. Referencing data helps to avoid synchronization issues if the data changes in the parent case, and this should be reflected in the child case. So, which of the following scenarios is a data transform appropriate? In an appointment scheduling case type, customers receive a confirmation email with the date and time that they selected for their appointment. I mean, you're copying information over. I don't know if that would be considered a data transform completely. The confirmation email does take the date and time that was selected, so I mean, eh, maybe, but again, I'm not 100% sure that that's the answer that they're wanting right at this moment in time. A loan application case determines the interest rate for the loan based on the applicant's credit score, net worth, and income to debt ratio. No, I don't. You're basically looking up the information on a website, checking, transferring their credit score, net worth, and income to debt into the website to get back their interest rate. So most likely not. In an account creation case, applicants enter a username that they want in the requested username field. If the username is unique, the system displays it in the verified username field on the enter account information form. That that to me is probably a better one of the data transform, because you're transferring the username, you know. So, you know, you're transferring the requested username field from one location to another. So um, that's something that the data transform could do. In a timesheet case, employees enter the number of hours that they worked, the number of sick hours, and the number of paid time off hours. The total number of hours for the week are displayed in a timesheet. Nope, you don't need that. So it's just adding up all those hours that you've entered in. So that's not a data transform. So yeah. Now, the reason why I say that this one could, could potentially be, you know, kind of a data transform, because this confirmation email isn't getting that date and time from out of the blue. Okay, they have to pull it from the appointment scheduling case type. Okay, so it has to take that information um, from the appointment that was already scheduled. Okay, so you can use like a date and time uh, like indicator, like saying, hey, this is the date and this is the time, and then it takes from the application, the appointment scheduling case type, and moves those values into that date and into that time. So technically you are transferring the information from one to the other, but um so I mean it's not it's you're not necessarily using, like a, you're not calling applying a data transform for that um confirmation email, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, so in some ways, yeah, you could consider it as a data transform because you're taking data from one part and putting it into another, but um it's I'm not quite sure like what would be like the what is like the main like cutoff point, like what makes that not a data transform, you know taking information from like customer entry or whatnot and transferring it into the email. You know, what do they call it? You know, Obviously they don't call it a data transform. Um, but it still kind of makes me wonder about it because it's like, well, um, the um, you're still kind of dealing with the they're still dealing with the data. So that's why I'm like, I'm not sure. All right, we got 25 minutes left. Do I have enough time to go through the next topic? Uh, Probably. There's a lot of pictures here, um, so I might be able to. But a lot of this is quite like detailed too. So this is one that we're really gonna have to buckle down and kind of look at a little bit more, I would imagine. So I'm still while I haven't really gone very far in this particular video, I feel as though I'm probably going to be needing more than just 25 minutes to go through all of this. Um, because they're getting into, PY default, PY set default fields or field defaults. These are getting into very, um, they're falling into a lot, you know, you need, the specific keywords that have, been part of um, the Pega platform. And I want to make sure that I give that it's all of the attention that it deserves. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here. Um, so, um, I don't necessarily want to um, push that particular information, or I don't necessarily want to rush it. So, and this one is also going to be kind of filled with to the brim of a lot of content here as well. We are getting into a lot of um, you know parts of Pega that if If you want that system architect, then you're gonna want to really, you know, make sure that you know this information. So, um, I mean, let's face it. Okay, the past two missions here, they kind of gave you a little bit of the overview of, what Pega is kind of all about. The low-code app builder. Okay, and here's the thing: the low-code app builder could still be handled by the business analyst, as we saw earlier, right? So that makes sense. But now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of what a system architect is all about. Okay, creating rules, application data manipulation, um, escalating late work, decision tables. This one's a big one. You know, um, you know, cascading approvals, um, viewing data in memory, viewing data in Dev Studio, or validating data in Dev Studio, accessing source data in a case, saving data to a system of record. Believe me, system of record is something that you're gonna need to make sure that you are very much aware of what it's all about. So, make sure that you're good on that. Okay. Uh, uh, what was the UX again? I keep on forgetting that one. Um, oh, I forgot to write it down. Um, I think it's like user experience or something like that. Yeah, I think it's like a user experience. Um, so yeah, we got a lot to, you know, still cover on here. Obviously, as you can see, I'm only 55% of the way complete on the system architect. Um, I've heard that if I really want to know Pega, then I'd want to go on to the senior system architect, which has 3 missions, 12 modules, and 11 challenges there. And as you can see, I don't have any of these completed yet. Okay, so am I gonna cover this? Probably not because, well, I mean, it's weird because yes, this would help me in learning more. Um, but is it really gonna help me in this general system architect certification? Not sure. Sure. I don't know if I should really kind of push this or not because um, I really do want to try to get past the system architect certification, get that certification on my resume and, start applying for Pega jobs. before it's too late, you know. Um, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Um, but okay. Well, that's gonna be it for tonight, there, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down here. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. No one chatted with me directly, but that's fine. Maybe they were just kind of lurking in the background, which is perfectly fine. No worries on that. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Feel free to do everything that you can to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. That would be fantastic. If you're not quite sure what that is, it's the whole, liking, subscribing, and all that jazz. That would be very, very helpful. Um, Also, if you would like, there's a lot of links that I put down in the description for social media. I have a Patreon for some of the games that I play. I have a um, Throne account. You know that if you want to, you can also put your own suggestions in there as well. Um, um, So those are available. I also have a Team Robot if anybody's kind of curious about that. But yeah, that's it for today's Pega, you know, study session. So um, yeah, thank you very much. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.